Monday. My name is Gill Stannard. I'm a naturopath and health and happiness coach, and I'm here to answer your questions. I've got a letter today from Sharon in Melbourne, and she asks, what can we do to prevent the emotional downers of menopause? Menopause is a very complex time. Some women sail through menopause and all they notice is their period stopping. For other women, there are a range of physical and psychological stresses that can occur. And everything I'm talking about here is focused on the emotional side because that's the question. But these things will also help hot flushes and wet flushes, which can be the bane of some menopausal women's lives. So part of the problem is obviously your ovaries are not producing any or as much estrogen and progesterone. But there's some good news. Did you know there's another part of your body that can produce these hormones? About 10% of what would the estrogen and progesterone production of your ovaries would be. And that is the adrenal glands. Now the good and bad news about the adrenal glands is they also pump out your stress hormones. They're the major organ responsible for how you biologically react to stress. So the key for dealing with most menopausal symptoms is actually through how we cope with stress. Now that sounds simple, but as we all know, we can get into some pretty tough habits with stress. We can overeat, drink alcohol, self-medicate in a variety of ways. And of course the basics that help our body deal with stress are exercise, which can be just walking, or it can be a gym program, or it can be going to a Pilates class. It's what works for you. It's what you're eating. It's making sure your nutritional requirements are met with lots of B vitamins, lots of whole grains, nuts, seeds, and also some other foods that we call phytoestrogen, which also are nuts and seeds and beans. Soy products, a bit of tempeh, a bit of miso, fantastic for menopausal symptoms. There are things like millet and barley and oats and other beans. So your phytoestrogens and your general nutrient profile is incredibly important. Cutting down on alcohol, I hate to say, is a really key thing in helping you go through menopause. There are a lot of things that happen. Most women will find that if they have hot flushes, they get triggered by alcohol and their sleep is worse. Alcohol will also make you a bit tighter the next day. Even that one glass of wine might make you tighter. So maybe think before you drink. Keep it for special occasions. To not drink when you're stressed is a great habit to get into. Have some sparkling mineral water instead, maybe a dash of bitters, which although are alcohol extracted, have little or no actual alcohol per glass. This is a good time to take up meditation or Tai Chi or some other meditative structure that works for you. For some people that's painting. For some people it's walking in nature. But if these haven't been your habits to date, this is a challenging time when you're already feeling under pressure to start them. You might think about getting not just some naturopathic help with a herbalist who can prescribe you some appropriate nerve healers, which are nervous system herbs. And even just drink a bit of chamomile tea, it helps, but some structured nervine herbs and maybe some estrogen promoters if it's appropriate for you. But maybe you see a psychologist if the tough stuff's coming up. You've been given a window. Your body is giving you biofeedback that there's things going on that you just don't want to deal with anymore. So this is the time for positive selfishness. It means me time is important. You may be in that so-called sandwich generation where you've got children who are growing up and demanding things from you and parents who need you as well. And it might feel like there is no time for me. No one's going to give it to you. You actually have to make that. So I think menopause can be a really interesting time to find what you need, to find yourself. But you might need a little bit of help to get there. You can find registered psychologists through the association memberships in the white pages or online. You can ask your GP for a referral. And I would really encourage, unless things are desperate, and there are times for medications like antidepressants when you are really desperate. If you're not quite desperate yet, to go down the psychologist route first. Well, Sharon, that's a huge question. I feel like I've only touched the surface there. There is a lot more. I think this is a really peak time in your life to get some support from a professional. But in the meantime, I'm showing a URL across the bottom of some articles I've written on changing your reaction to stress and the biology of stress, so you can understand that key involvement of the adrenal glands. So take a little bit of time out, a magazine, drink a cup of chamomile tea, start writing a journal, maybe a gratitude journal or just a diary to vent what's going on for you, to talk to your friends, to talk to your partner, to get out in nature, to eat well, to pull back on the alcohol and make a start. I hope that's a really good start for you. And if you've got a question for Health Q&A Monday, you can send it to coaching@gillstannard.com.au, tweet me at herbalgill, or leave me a message on my website, gillstannard.com.au. Have a great week, and I'll be back with you soon.